way more to be poor than it does wealthy. It costs you your health, your mental, spiritual, and financial health. The community reinforces who you think you are because you see it in everybody around you. Learn to do what you hate. Everybody talking about do what you love, and that's why nobody love what they do. We all know that we're not living at 100%, because if we was, we'd be living in a different life.
I'm grateful for the high level walk. It was what my soul called for and needed. It was exactly that, high level.
I feel like a part of God. This was just amazing. Wow.
I saw a man who led us on a healing path into who we are to become.
On that side of the line, that's who you are. On this side of the line is who you want to be. Get out the city. Get out the city right now. It's killing you. There was a mental health crisis in the 80s in Japan, and the government decided to do something about it. Yoku Shinrin. That means forest bathing. They would take groups of people out to the forest for 2 days, and it was shown to actually help decrease stress and anxiety and depression. It would decrease cortisol levels by 50%. That's the hormone that induces stress within the body. It has been scientifically shown to actually help produce anti-killer cancer cells. While we in the city right now, we're in these unnatural environments, we don't really realize that it's actually killing us. It's causing the issue, it's causing the problem, and you need to get out into nature. You need to stop, grab a tree, allow your body to catch them downloads. Allow yourself to release. It's where you become a god. This is real life right here. We call those things homes, but that's because we built them outside of nature. This used to be home. So I need you to tap in back into your divine self. That's why we're gonna be doing hikes as a community. That's why we're doing bonfires. That's why we eating the plants, so that we can get back in line with our circadian rhythm. Decrease those issues that we have in our bodies that causes the stress, causes the inflammation, and we get to tap back into who we are as gods, into our nature. Yes, how we doing?
Hi. Hello. Thank you for waiting for us.
Thank you. We were on the other side.
Yes.
What are you guys looking forward to today?
I would like to experience Key's energy in his mind, get to know plans for high level, just get to know his energy.
Hi. I'm Tamaka. Nice to meet you.
You know, you've really changed my life. Like, you have led me to the nation, and there's where I find my mission and my passion. So, thank you for all that you do. Keep it up, and I want to support you 100% on the path that you're leading us. How you feeling today, Keith?
I feel magnificent. I'm pacing myself for the week, taking it one day at a time till I roar my energy up for Invest Fest. It's good now to be out in nature, hearing the sounds of the cicadas, getting some sun, tapping in my circadian rhythm, and just have me at a good flying level of enlightenment and peace. So, and this is something I'm gonna speak on at Invest Fest, but by 2030, Black people are going to spend $70 billion on apparels and luxury goods. We 13% of the population,
That's right.
but we represent 20% of luxury
Come
spending.
on, Keys. That's right.
The goal is to become prosumers.
Yes.
Prosumer produces what they consume.
Right.
So getting into manufacturing gets you into the side before the garment is made.
What kind of breath work do you do, Keys?
Yeah, I stop and sometimes do dragon breath, hold it in, or do a Bonda breathe, or you hold in your abdomen all the way up. And I like to hold my breath and let my lungs fill up to capacity. And then, All right, let's get back on the move. Quick scenery stop. We can catch the pictures on the way back.
So, I have those photos, the videos, my first rave.
You can do the podcast in different ways, but I like the niche podcast as well because, like I said, when somebody's want to be tuned into that frequency, they know to think about you. It takes you out of competition with all podcasts. Like, you can have a podcast about rock collecting. Everybody in the world who's interested in rock collecting is going to want to listen to your podcast. That's why we're doing the Good Influence program. So at High Level Club, we're going to be doing the Masters program as well. So the Masters program is where every week I'm bringing in basically a guest from High Level Conversations to come do a coaching call with the students. The goal is to like immerse you in that environment so it's consistent. Everybody always signing up for all of these different programs. You don't need to. The goal is to sign up for one and go deep into that. So if you're constantly learning from masters and you start activating that knowledge and information, then you become a master. And then after they come in, I'll come in and be teaching how do you build from the knowledge. the way people are consuming is changing, right? People are not listening to podcasts the same way and listening to them for the same reason. So there's a lot of people who already have their audiences. So it's going to be very hard for you to just pick up a podcast mic and say, listen to me. And they're going to be like, why? I've already been listening to a person, right? Why would I switch them off to listen to you? There's a lot of new TV shows that come out. But if you watch a certain show at a certain time every Saturday, you don't know what the hell is coming on at that same time because you already got that time slot filled. I'm going to draw a line right here. So the rest of this is going to be at least 5 minutes of a meditation walk. So the idea of it is to download a shift in frequency. So before everybody cross this line, I want you to think about who you want to be. Now on that side of the line, right, that's who you are. On this side of the line is who you want to be, right? Better health, better breathing, better life, better attitude, better relationships, better friends. The idea of it is becoming it now versus later. It's very hard for people to shift. When you make quantum shifts in life, it's really just shifting a state of emotion, right? It's how you do quantum jumps in life. It's a quick shift, but creating that shift and maintaining that shift is the key, because we can fake it for a minute, but how long can we live there? In environments where you have people with you and you have a community, it becomes easier because it's reinforcing. You're not dependent on the individual self. The community reinforces who you think you are because you see it in everybody around you, right? So if they're being their best self, we actually imitate other people's body, and we feel like them when we're around other people as well. That's how our bodies work. Our bodies know things before our mind does. We store information in it. You see a bear, all of a sudden you start breathing, right? Your body start getting anxious. Well, it's going to tell your mind to have fear then. So instead, you have to have a shift in the way that you respond to things, right? And you have to reaffirm yourself. What does that mean, right? So you can take something that makes you anxious and you can reaffirm that to where it can make you excited. Because anxious and excitement have similar to the same chemical reactions. So instead of saying, oh, I'm anxious, no, you say I'm excited, and that makes you actually want to move towards the thing versus be afraid of the outcome of it. You know, I used to do this when I was younger. I used to think about, and I meditate and think about who I was going to become in the next 10 years. I think about it physically, financially, mentally, spiritually, in all aspects. And at the end of each meditation, I would walk into the body of that person. And so when I open my eyes, I'm integrated with that self, right? So now I'm not waiting to become it. I am that person, right? And now I'm just shedding the old self so that I can stay there and live there forever. So this line right here is courage. On that side is fear, it's stress, it's anxiety, it's guilt, it's shame, right? Those are the ones that keep you at the bottom. Matter of fact, it costs way more to be poor than it does wealthy. It costs you your health, right? It costs you your mental, spiritual, and financial health. So in order to stay there, you have to stay with your fears. In order to stay there, you have to stay in your worries. You have to stay in your doubt. You have to stay in your insecurities, right? You have to stay in your lack of belief in self. You have to keep your mind closed. All of that is what you have to constantly pay to be at the bottom floor. The top floor, that shift, that's when you have that courage. That requires a little fearlessness. It requires you to detach from the outcome of things. Oftentimes we try to control things that we simply don't even need to control. Detachment from the state of whatever happens or don't happens allow you to be in the flow. Trying to control things is where we start to have, loss, right? We try to control how everything happens. It is what it is. That's the ultimate form of enlightenment. And when you're around people like that, that's the payment that keeps you around. Because when you start coming around and you negative and things of that nature, oh, it costs too much to have you around. I don't want you at the top floor. What are you willing to give up in order to become? But you have to be it already. And you have to then see that as your level. They call it the rubber band effect. The rubber band effect is you get to a certain space. And this is where you believe your life is. This is your self-image. Now, trying to go higher than that is like a rubber band. There's pressure, and it'll pull you back down. So the only way to change that is if you change your self-image to up here. So now you're supposed to be at this floor. So a lot of times we get to a point of success and we think that we've become something, which makes it harder to become something else. When we think that we know something, it makes us harder to learn what we don't know, right? And so instead, you have to see your image all the way up here. So when you're not there, right, your body, your mind is going back up to that space. Learn to do what you hate. Everybody talking about do what you love, and that's why nobody love what they do. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a part of the brain that activates the will, and the seat of the will is activated when you do what you hate. It grows that part, and not just something that's challenging. I mean, when you don't want to do it and you do it, it grows that willful part every single time. That journey in life that you go take once you cross here, all of those things on this side, they're not gonna be easy, but they the most worthy things to do. Conversations that you don't want to have with people, if you have them, your life change.
That make me feel alive, because where I'm from, I feel like I'm alone in this conscious community. Being a part of other women, that like-minded individual, make me feel like part of something. It's like an alignment. It's what I feel divine. Like I feel like a part of God. It was just amazing. Wow.
My goal for today was to get an understanding of Keys, because being on the other side of the camera, you get a lot of his energy, but I really wanted to get an understanding of who he is, because I can see where he's taking us. I could see him as a leader. And that was my goal, was to get an understanding of that, to feel what that's like. And so my experience of today is just truly divine. I saw a man who led us on a healing path into who we are to become.
Being on this hike today has really just, the key word has been divine alignment. Before I even got here, the thought of being here was divine alignment, and everything seemed to be having some sort of synergy and aligned with thoughts that I had, thoughts that somebody else had, conversations that someone else had, and it all seemed to merge together. The hike itself was refreshing. It was what my soul called for and needed, and I'm grateful for the high level walk, and it was exactly that, high level.
We all know that we're not living at 100%, because if we was, we'd be living in a different life. And so you have to think about, what are you giving up once you walk through this line, right? And what are you walking into? You walking into your confidence. You walking into a glowing era. All y'all are women, so you walking into that feminine magic, right? Where things flow with you. If you try to manifest too hard as a woman, it won't work for you. You know what I mean? A woman is nature. Things are supposed to flow to her by her activating that essence within self. But if you're trying so hard and wondering why it's not working, because you're trying to manifest from a masculine energy. Manifesting from a feminine energy, things come to you, right? Versus you going to them. It's a completely different power. So we live in a man's world, so a lot of women watch how men manifest and think that that's the way that they're supposed to. And that's not the way things flow. You know what I mean? The world won't even be impressed by it. The world will look at you and you would think that everybody should notice how I'm doing this. And it's like, yeah, but it's not attractive. You know what I mean? Nobody looks at a woman working and sweating hard as hell and say, ooh, god damn, she bad. Look how hard she working. But if you in there making it look easy and you flowing and you looking like the goddess just living your life and things coming to you, that's attractive. That's magnetic energy. You know what I mean? If man world stopped manicuring everything, nature would just grow in this place. Roots will start taking up, they'll start cracking the foundation. Man has to constantly cut down nature in order for him to maintain his world. That's why he has to constantly cut down women in order to maintain his world. Otherwise, you would just flow. So I want everybody to close their eyes for a second. And I want you to begin to feel the air around you. So we're focusing on the exterior. Hear the cicadas, feel your skin. Do a scan of your body from your toes to your legs, to your knees, to your thighs, to your groin area, to your abs, to your chest, to your shoulders, biceps, forearms, hands, flowing all the way back up to your face, to your smile, to your eyes, to your forehead. Rooted within self. Feel how your body feels. Now I want you to think from the inside, your interior self. Try to see if you can feel your heart breathing, your heart beating rather. Be in tune and connection with your body. Your body is always giving you signs before your mind even knows. Breathe in and take oxygen into your blood, which is literally giving life to self. Now I want you to think about yourself glowing with a yellowish tint glow like the sun. As you breathe in, you roll your shoulders back and relax, and that glow should be turning white. Now, I want you to think about your most successful self, yourself where you have the money you want, you have the joy you want, the friends you want. I want you to get specific to think about that person that you are. I want you to be in their house on the land. I want you to think about how your worries have disappeared, how you got rid of certain fears, how you start walking into yourself more confident, how you don't allow people to disrupt your energy anymore, how you don't allow bad days to happen because you change your perspective on it, how you shifted your belief. There's no such thing as not being where you want to be because you are where you are. You have peace now. Your face is more relaxed now. Your body is more relaxed now. You treat yourself so much better, and everybody in your life is better for it. You're dressed in the finest fabrics, and you walk at your highest self with confidence. Anytime somebody see you, they know who you are, and therefore they do too. Now you're eliminating your fears. You're treating yourself completely with love. And you don't allow anybody who doesn't love you to even be in your life at this point. I only have an expectation for good things to happen. And if they don't happen, it's okay, they're gonna happen later. But they're gonna happen for me because that's who I am. It's just that simple, and the universe has to react to who I am. That's the way it works. So cross this line, and I want you to be in your new self. Whatever you want to keep on that side, you keep it. You can throw it in the ground. You can do whatever you need to do, but don't bring it on this side. You better have the best attitude in the world, an attitude of joy and enlightenment, because this is the best, not just day of your life. The goal is to make a day turn into a life. You make an emotion that turns into a movement, and you keep that emotion here. Anything that try to bring you down, nope, we gonna get right back up to here. I don't want to hear that bad news. I don't want to hear none of that. You got to be delusional until it's reality. You know what I mean? And let other people look at you crazy until you start living it. Don't live in the expectations of people who think they know you. You've become more now. So let's cross this line. Let's go. Let's get some energy going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm not doing all that. When he crossed that line in the first place, like I was like, oh, something powerful is about to happen. And then when he said what that line was, and when he said the intention, first of all, that meditation, I was like, am I gonna fall back off the hill? Because I really felt myself getting grounded. The vibration of his voice was just very powerful, and the meditation felt so good. And I could just visualize exactly where I wanted myself to be, aligning up with that timeline, that version of myself. And it felt very, very real. And I felt the energy when it came time to cross that line. I felt the energy building up, and it felt very real and very attainable to be able to leave behind the things that needed to be left behind and to cross over. It literally felt like crossing over. And after that point, the whole walk felt different. Yeah, I'm grateful for him even presenting that.
Right here. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a drunk like
Oh, there we go.
yes.
We over here.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a quantum leap. I leave my past self behind this line, and I feel like I'm in the energy. I embody the individual that I have in my mind, and I live through it. It was just a transformation experience. It was like magical.
Come on, Miss Trinity. Yeah.
That was a very transformational experience of taking that leap, because I see who I want to be. I see who I'm becoming. And there are some things that I need to let go of in order to be that person. And so to have him guide us, do this, relax, breathe, listen to your body, listen to your heartbeat in a spiritual, meditative way, and then to draw a line of you no longer are going to be your old self. You're now going to cross into your highest and best self. It was so transformative, because in my mind I was thinking it's self-doubt, it's fear. You gotta let that go, because you know who you are. You know who God has called you to be. Let that part go, and to be in his energy and to have him guide us through that was truly divine. And it was all women, and I felt such a connection to every one of the women that came, having conversations, being around like-minded people, but Keys created this community where we can come together and we can like talk on topics that we feel inside of us. And it was just so healing to go on this journey. It was so healing to hear other women and their stories. It's so healing. And then to have Keys also like educate us on like feminine divine principles and being in flow and with nature, it was exactly what I needed to hear in order for me to transform and take that final leap into who I am becoming. So it was very transformative. I would definitely come again. He's a divine leader. He goes by divine principles, and I see where he's taking us, and I totally 100% support it. So it was divine alignment for me.
I feel so relaxed now.
That's why Keith is our leader.
Exactly.
Because that's what leaders do. They recognize energy and they know how to change it. They know how to shift it. So that's why I see him as an awesome leader, a divine leader.
I'm in my pink Cadillac, okay? That Mary Kay give me. I do free trip, and I have a lot of jewelry for my récompense. Yes.
You ever want to de-stress, just go outside in nature. It's very hard to be angry in nature. I think you get to do a lot of shedding when you come to nature, specifically forestry, surrounded by nothing but trees and nature. So, you know, most people never take 2 days in the forest in their whole life. But if you did, you get that reset. Well, we just came from the hike with the high-level ladies. It was beautiful. We laughed, some cried. I had a good awakening, and we did it all in nature. You know, the wellness of our community is the wealth of our community, and especially, I do believe that 75% of the work is with the women, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, that we didn't plan it to be only women, but only women showed up. So I think that it must have been purposeful, it must have been meant for me to create that shift in their lives, and I can tell that a lot of them needed it, so I'm glad that they got it. I look forward to doing more of these hikes. This is just the beginning, and I appreciate all the Platinum members that tapped in and signed up. I'll see y'all on the next one. Are we low level or high level?
When do you feel you're at your highest self?
I feel like I'm at my highest self when I've been consistent. All of my personal training, working out, properly, taking care of nutrition, reading, and, keeping up with, your own mental growth.
Starting my mornings with meditating. When I go on a juice cleanse and I just have all of this energy, also saying my affirmations every day, that's what keeps me going and lifted.
I feel like I'm at my highest self when I'm in my flow. And that means doing things from a place of creativity and passion. Make sure that I always journal every day and that I have at least 3 things that I'm grateful for that have nothing to do with my accomplishments.
This is
the High Level Club.
Are we low level or high level?